Morning, Craig.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
I can't see all you. Now I can see all you.
I was I'm just getting home and just let my dog out.
Oh, you're like prepped and ready for today, aren't you?
Oh yeah. So
I love it.
I usually
That's
get up
something
and go to
good.
the gym every morning anyway. So
I uh I do my gym later on in the day, like midday.
yeah,
And I am really debating blocking out, 'cause I do it 3 times a week, blocking out the other 2 days and doing something here and just doing something here also. So I want to up it. I upped it from 2 days to 3 days. I do not want to do 5 days at the gym because 3 days with the personal trainer is like almost $500 a month. And
gotcha.
everybody says that that's a good price. And it's $500 a month. I'm like, I don't know what 5 days looks like. I don't know, 800, whatever. So,
Yeah, so I do 4 days a week and with the trainer. We do group sessions though.
oh,
So
mine's a one-on-one, and I really love that. And
yeah,
it's tiny. The place I go is really, really, I mean, it's got all the equipment and everything, but it's super tiny. You can only fit, I do 2 days a week. There's another guy out there and he's training 2 people at once, but that's all that can really work in that room would be 3 people and 2 trainers.
gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that it just, you'd be all over each other otherwise.
yeah.
So,
So it's a little small boutique type gym. Um
ooh,
Yeah, so and my trainer is a female.
that's cool.
Yeah,
I've got,
she
I work
kicks
with
butt.
all of them. They're different. There's 3 of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so she man, she can go. She's a killer. So
Yep.
main ours mostly is body weight. So we have dumbbells and balls,
Mhm.
the
Same
whatever
with
you
us
call it.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
we
a
have a
lot
lot
of
of that.
weightlifting.
And then I have a membership at Planet Fitness where I go to lift. I can't really lift a whole lot anymore because I got a bum shoulder from the military. Uh,
Ooh,
yeah, so it's tough for me to lift. But when I first started with her, it'll be 3 years next month. So when I first started with her, I could only like work out with like a 5 pound weight.
wow.
Yeah, so now I can do a total full body workout, a whole circuit with 15 pounds. And
I had a bum shoulder for a while also, and I did something and I did not go to the doctor. You know when you put your hands on a counter and you pop up to
mhm,
sit on the counter? So I did that and I blew out my shoulder. I don't know how or what, right? And it was a long time ago. It was like when I first got married, so let's say 15 years ago. And it was bum for forever. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. So I finally took a pair of 3 pounds, I think, little teeny tiny things. And I just did flies for the longest time. And it hurt. And I made myself do flies before every single cup of coffee, which for me is a lot of flies, right? So
yeah,
I 10 before every cup of coffee, because if I tie whatever I want to do to coffee, it's happening. Because I would
got
not let myself have the coffee until I did it. And I worked it completely out. Like I just
yep,
worked it completely out. There's nothing anymore. And I don't know. I'm not recommending that because I did it all without any supervision. I didn't go to the doctor, all that kind of stuff. And it's the same shoulder that I broke my elbow. I didn't go to the doctor for that one either. Um, and I know I broke it because it hurt for years, but the bruise was about this big and it wrapped all the way around my entire arm. Like
wow,
it was bad. But
yeah,
anyway, so, but it's all like, I don't ever have any problems with it anymore, but it took a long time to work through that, you
oh
know?
yeah. So I dislocated this shoulder in the military. Um, so it never got right. So I'm getting, a little disability for it now. But um my other shoulder, by me using it all the time, I got um frozen shoulder.
You overcompensated because you
Yeah.
had,
And I
oh
was
my
sleeping on it all the
God.
time. So I got frozen shoulder. I couldn't lift this arm. And
Right.
I just went on YouTube and started researching, like, what was it and how to rehab it. Came across these guys on there that were physical therapists, and they said how to, these different little exercises to do. I did them
Did you
every
do like
day.
the pendulum swings?
Did that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the little crawl, put your fingers on the wall and crawl straight up
Yep. Yep.
because I couldn't lift my arm.
I couldn't do
Uh,
mine either. Yep.
yeah, so I did all of that, everything they said do, did it every day. My dad got frozen shoulder. I told him the exercises to do, cleared his up. My wife
Oh,
got
he did it?
frozen shoulder. My wife got frozen shoulder. Told her to do it. She wouldn't do it. So she ended up through her job, she had like she could call in and they tell her over the phone what to do, and they
Mhm.
sent her this little recorder for range of motion and all of that, gave her exercises, same exercises, and they cleared hers up. And I was like, listen, you didn't even have to spend the money. The only thing you had to do is listen to me.
Whatever. I
Yeah.
hear you on that one. I really do. All right,
So,
let's dig in.
all right.
Okay, Bree, how the heck are you? Can't hear you. Probably on my end.
Can you hear me now?
Yep,
Yep.
probably on my end, but yes.
Okay. I am okay.
Okay.
Raised $1,000 to feed families that needed food for Thanksgiving. Had 1,000 budgeted and only spent 600 to feed 36 families.
Wow. That is incredible. Congratulations. You're a bargain
So
shopper, girl.
Well, we convinced the store clerk
Uh-huh.
to give us the senior discount,
Cool.
and that saved $60. And they
You turned into an Amy and so we're gonna leave you there. My Amy and friend. Kathy, got some
Yes,
good news?
ma'am.
Hi.
Hi. I'm doing one of those go blank. Closing is today, so that's the good news.
Woo, 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 woo. We'll take it. We lost Craig for a minute. Okay, so here's my question. And we can go either direction with this, y'all. Bree, we lost you for a minute, so we're gonna go with you did really good and you saved a pile of money. Yay. All right, so here's my question. We can either have somebody in the hot seat and we can just really focus in on something that y'all are working on or building or doing whatever, or I can kind of go through some things that I learned yesterday from Jarek and then today from an article I read that I thought was really interesting that is sort of business model planning moving forward. So do you guys want to do hot seat or you want to go through that? Do I have anyone that wants to hot seat? Do that? Okay. So I had my training yesterday, my coaching yesterday with Jarek. And Jarek said this, and it got me to really thinking. And I'm going to back up and tell you some of the stuff that I've already like learned anyway. There's 3 basic business models. And the 3 basic business models are this. It's either Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom. So Walmart is the cheapest. And it's always going to be the cheapest, and that's their entire business model. Target is convenient. You can get everything at Target. It's very, very, very convenient. You can get everything from groceries to clothing to toothpaste to your medicine. You can get everything. Target's convenient. Nordstrom is quality. So it's always going to be quality. That's the way it is. And there's even a lot of stuff around branding and colors. Like Home Depot does a lot of orange. Home Depot started off as a cheap place to go get all of your supplies, and orange is the color of cheap. Nordstrom, when you walk in, has lots of floor space. It's very open. It's very white also. So white or black, but very, very open, and only a few clothing racks. Where if you walk into a Walmart, you're like going like this in between the clothing racks in the clothing section. Okay, so cheap is a lot of stuff. Expensive, it's not, it's pared down, it's curated. You know, the second you see it, your brain clicks in with what is quality. You know it, you recognize it in branding. In business, you can be any business model. You can choose whatever business model you want to go for. You can be the cheapest, and in real estate, we all know those, that it's the race to the bottom. I don't charge very much. I get a ton of listings, so it's the same thing. I got a ton of clothes, but I charge really, really low. That's one business model. You can be very Target, very convenient. You can be, I am the neighborhood real estate agent and everybody knows me and I'm super convenient, I'm competent, I charge a mid-level price, that's just my business model, that's what I do. It's clean, easy, there's no bells, whistles, very convenient. Or you could be Nordstrom. Nordstrom, high level. It doesn't mean that you're only doing luxury, but it means you have that look and feel. It's white glove service. That's what it is. It's white glove service. There's no right or wrong. It's just a decision on which one that you want to do. I don't blame anybody that wants to go be a 1%er. I don't think it's a sustainable business model. And my question always was when I asked I had a bunch of agents when I went in the Bay Area, and our average commission across the office was something like 1.87 or something. I mean, it's super dirt cheap when I got there. I couldn't believe it. Part of it's the price point's expensive. Part of it's the culture of the Bay Area because you've got 50% Asian, 20% Middle Eastern, it's just a very culturally dense mix. But one of the things I'm very proud of is it took, after about a year, we got our average commission up to 2.8. And that's a huge jump in a year. And I always started with when the agents would come to my office and they would complain about, they're trying to cut my commission. My first question always was, do you want to do that? No. All right, then let's talk about it. If you want to, I was fine with that. You want to go charge a 1%er and you want to go do that, go charge 1% all day long. So there's no right or wrong. It's just a decision. Now, Jarek, so that's one thing that I just knew from the past. Then Jarek said this yesterday, which kind of made me really think.
Wait.
Wait.
What's the branding color for Target? You didn't talk about the
Red.
color for them.
Okay, so Target's red.
Okay.
And thank you for asking that. And here's really interesting about that. Red is the color of sales. It's also the color of fast food. The thing about red, the funny story around red sells. Red says sells. That's just what red's all about. Red's about selling and food. Those are the two things red's about. I actually, when I was a new agent, I was doing marketing, and my marketing used to be black, white, and red. Keller Williams also, but a lot of black and a lot of red. And I was working with a girl, called her Dumb Deanna. She made me crazy. Finally got her house sold, but I mean, she made me crazy. We're sitting in the Target. We met there to Target, and I'm going through the marketing and what it is that I'm doing. And she literally told me, I showed her my flyer, and she said, I hate your flyer. I don't want to do that. I want to do green or blue or whatever it was. And I'm like, I said, what is it that you have against red? I just don't like it. I'm like, red sells. And I'm looking around inside the Target, and every single thing is red. I'm like, are you dumb? And she's like, and I'm like, we're not changing the flyer. The flyer looks like the flyer. And it was my flyer was designed on purpose with intense and massive color, because back then you used a flyer box, and I needed people to, when they went around, flyer boxes were empty all the time in Washington State because it rains all the time. So I needed you, when you came around the corner and saw that yard sign with the flyer box, I needed intense color because you knew there was a flyer in there. And my flyers, what fed my sign colors were all fed off flyers. And if I ever went to a client's house and that flyer box was empty, because I left them with stacks, right? And they knew to get a hold of me whenever it got down, like when you get down to this many, you get a hold of me, I will send you another stack. If it ever got empty and I came around the corner and that flyer box was empty, there was all hell to pay. I'm like, you will never leave that flyer box empty. That sells your house. Anyway, so that was kind of the reason why, but there was a lot of red because from a distance, color and red pops, right? It says sale. So that's Target. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you'll see gold, black, white. You'll see gold, sometimes off-white. But you'll see that combination a lot for like luxury. Luxury almost always is gold, black, white. Creamy white. Sometimes stark white, but also creamy white. Okay. Then Jarek told me this, and I was like, okay, hang on, this got me thinking. So that's the first story. The second story, this. So Jarek said, if someone DMs me, if someone, because he puts Facebook posts and he says, DM me for more information. And when they do, so he might say, get your free list of the, gosh, what did they do? Get your free list of the 10 things you have to ask every agent before you list your house, or something like that, whatever it is, right? Something designed to go get people who are interested in listings. And then DM me, 10 questions or something, or DM me question mark or something like that. And then when they do, he immediately asks them a series of questions. It's 5 questions. Those questions are basically, I have my notes over here. What the heck was my notes? Okay, I'm gonna go off memory from yesterday. The questions are something like, tell me what it is that, okay, his question actually was, get me your free list of the 5 things you need to know before building a team. So it was for agent attraction. So the first question's exploratory. Tell me, what the size of your team is, now and where do you want it to be? So that tells me kind of who I'm dealing with. And then the second question is a this or that question. And the this or that question is designed to filter through who you want to work with and not want to work with. So in my case, the this or that question might be, if you wanted to build a team, would be, did you want to build a virtual team or an in-person team? That might be a really good one. So I'm not really interested in helping people build a virtual team. I can give them advice, but not for coaching. So it's a this or that question. And then the next question is a gap question. That gap question is, tell me where your team is and tell me where you want to go. All right, so you're at 10 now and you want to get to 100. So we have a gap in 90. Is that right? Yes. And then the next question is, basically, do you want help with that? And then when they say yes, awesome. I'm going to have, and then the last question is to gather their information. So you can get them that and then send them the free article that you promised in the beginning, the trigger to get the whole thing going. And this was the point that he said something that intrigued me. So those first 5, great, cool. That's a system. Love it. But then he said this, he said, if you want to, you could drop in your Calendly link, which is what I've been doing. So I've been doing a little bit of Facebook, each just my 4 things. And if someone says anything, I'm like, here's my Calendly book. And they have been booking. And Jarek said, there's nothing wrong with that. He goes, but I want to charge white glove prices, Nordstrom prices. So because I want to charge Nordstrom prices, I had to look at my whole experience and make sure it was a Nordstrom experience. So what does that look like? He said, so I say, I'm going to have my assistant, Jennifer, tell me your best email. I'm going to have my assistant, Jennifer, reach out to you an email, and she's going to work with you to find the best time on your schedule. He goes, because that says a lot more white glove than here's my Calendly link book. All right. So that one lodged in my brain. So we have the 3 business models, and then we have a white glove service. And what does a white glove service look like? The third thing that happened was this morning, as I was getting ready, I was looking at the Harvard Business Review, an article on Harvard Business Review. And the article said, the headline said this is what got me. It said, your competitors are not who you think they are. I was like, ooh, that's intriguing. Who are my competitors? And so I instantly started, like, before I read, I was like, because it's like a puzzle or a test. I'm like, oh, who are my competitors? And you already know that, in agents world, it's the agent down the street. It's the big, huge agent with the signs all over. And if that's not who I think it is, then who would it be? Could it be the upstart agent that's got some cool tech that's like taking over the world because they know how to work, whatever, biting at your heels? Is it that person? But I opened up the article, and then the third thing I thought was, is it somebody that works for you in your organization that is going to, turn out to be a competitor? Is it that? I'm like, who is it? That's not it. Your competitor that you don't realize who it is every single customer's last best experience. Here's what I mean. Have you ever stayed in like a world-class motel, like an amazing a Ritz, or every town has the one old, classy, beautiful hotel thing? If you've ever done that, there's all this special service, like they give you a bottle of water when you walk in. There's gorgeous flowers. There's chocolates on your bed. There's marble floors. What is it that we can bring up extra for you? We're going to be serving breakfast. It's going to be room service. What would you like? Whatever, right? That level of service. And if you've done that, then the next time you go into any hotel, even if it's Motel 6 or whatever, in your head, you're comparing it. Man, this is not the Driscoll in Austin. This is not the Driscoll. Dang, I really miss the Driscoll. The Driscoll's gorgeous. And the Driscoll really is beautiful and wonderful and all those the Empress in Victoria, BC. And so you're comparing it because that is the bar now of whatever your last best experience was. That is your competitor, whatever their last best experience was. And I was like, oh man. So that got me to thinking of, because Gary and I are going into planning this year. Many agents are, this is planning time where you kind of sit down and carve out a couple hours and really analyze your business and what do you want to do and where do you want it to go and what do you want it to look like. And I've been working with some marketing with Ava for the team because Gary's an accountant. His stuff is very informational. It's very written word informational. It's not glossy or slick or pretty or smooth, or it doesn't particularly say anything other than I have massive information for you. That's what it says. And I'm really trying to work with the team. We're working on the back end because I want it to be more, I want it to look good. I want it to look very classy, classic, beautiful, relay the information visually, more than just words, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so I thought about my own service and then what I want to build. So now that you guys have all of that, 3 business models, PF, there's Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom. You can be the cheapest, you can be the most convenient, or you can be quality. What does if there's no right or wrong, you can pick whichever one you want to do. You can kind of compete on 2. You cannot compete on all 3. You cannot be the cheapest, the most convenient, and quality, the highest quality. It's impossible. You can kind of blend 2. You can be very convenient and quality. You can be cheap and convenient. I don't know if you can be cheap and quality. I suppose you could. You probably go broke. But you can compete on 2, but not really 3. And what does white glove look like if that is the direction you want to go? And your competitor is actually your customer's last best experience. So, thoughts around that?
Great. So that's awesome. But did the article give you any hints as to how you can find out what your customer's last best experience was? Because then
No.
you're like chasing a ghost.
Oh, that's very good. Okay. You're making me think now. What they did, they used Lexus as the example because when Lexus came out, Toyota was cheap. Toyotas were dirt cheap. Toyotas and Datsuns, they're little tiny dirt cheap cars. And then Toyota said, we're going to do Lexus. But
They were reliable too.
Yes, they were and they ran forever. The little crappy little square cars ran for forever. So what they did was they sent everybody to the Ritz-Carlton. They sent their whole upper echelon to the Ritz-Carlton for a week, all different Ritz-Carltons, and they made them take notes on everything, right? So they did that. And then when they found out about, oh gosh, who else's business model did they find out about? And they went, okay, go explore that business model also. I can't remember who it was. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. So they went and explored that also. And then they said, okay, what is it that they do that is so amazing? Install now, install later. No, go away, people. Oh, I hate update your phone. Hate it. And I'm not seeing it in here.
Good year.
All right. So anyway, they went and explored another business model also to figure out what does extreme quality look like. And so apparently when you go to a Lexus dealership, I don't own a Lexus, I never have, but it's when you pick up your car after service, there's a bottle of water, there's water in the water holders. There's chocolates that are left in the car. It is all about the experience and how do we white glove it. So they did do research. I don't know how you would relate that. Okay. Here's what we did. You're making me PF. It's such a good question. Thank you. I built a thing that was the services I provide versus the services the other main companies provide. And so we did guerrilla marketing, and we did guerrilla marketing also with all my offices. So a guerrilla marketing is, and I'm starting to do a little bit of it with Gary's. So a guerrilla marketing is not the kind where you put flyers underneath everyone's door, not that kind of guerrilla, this kind of guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing, I had my assistant contact every other main office in my area. And I had her ask just this question. Hey, look, I want to list my house. I said, just talk to the front receptionist. Do not talk to an agent. Try and stay with the front receptionist. And we did that. That was deliberate. I said, she said, I want to list my house and I just want to know what you guys do as a company on average for your listings. And they would say, do you want to talk to an agent? She's like, no, I don't know yet. I'm still making my decision. And then if I decide that you guys are it, then yes, I will be asking you for an agent. And then the person would say, we put a sign in the yard, we put it on the MLS, we do this, we do that. We have an internal thing that we put it out to everybody. We do these 8 things, whatever they are. And some of them did things like they put it in the newspaper back then. There was all different kinds of things they did. But then we took that information and I built like a spreadsheet, but a graphic that had.
Yeah, a matrix.
Yep, and then I would hand it out. This is what I do, and it gave me also the opportunity to say, this is what I don't do, and here's why. I don't do newspaper advertising. I don't do billboards. We had a company that did massive billboards, and everybody knew it. Like, you're gonna put my house on a billboard? No, hell no, I'm not doing that. And here's why I'm not doing that. You know, and so it gave me that great opportunity, but we did guerrilla marketing. So if you've got an agent in your area, it's super easy to go guerrilla market that agent. You can go see all their stuff at open houses. You can see what they're doing online. You can call the agent or have a friend call the agent. I'm interested in listing my house and I just want to talk to you about what it is that you do. So it's guerrilla marketing. And we do it with our offices. When I opened up the KW in Virginia Beach area, what we did was it's a long process. How many people are in the office? What do they charge in the office? What do they provide in that office? What is the broker like? Are they a teaching office? Are they a tech office? Are they a hands-off office? What is the vibe in that office? What are the colors in that office? How many, all of it. You just really deep dive and you look for, where is my sweet spot of the thing that nobody else is doing? How do I compete? How do I compete?
What
So
makes you stand out?
hey, how do I stand out? When I went to open up my coaching company, we looked at what everybody else charged for coaching and what their systems were and what they provided. And we purposely year-long contracts, $1,000 a month, $350 to $500 for group coaching, $750 minimum for individual coaching. But everybody had year-long contracts, everybody. And the complaint was, I hate my coach and I can't get out. I heard this person, I heard Mike Ferry speak, love him. They gave me this coach over here, locked me in for a year and I couldn't get out. The most common complaint I heard, and it was against the Ferry organization. And I'm sorry for mentioning another organization, so I shouldn't do that. Big organization. And so I purposely charged a slightly lower price point and I did a 3-month contract and then it was month to month after that. I made you pay 3 months up front because I'm not going to bring you in for a week. And we did a long exploratory call before we did anything. I'm not going to bring you in for 2 weeks and then have you say I suck. And then because you won't do anything and then have you leave me a bad review. I'm like, I need 3 months. But it was something nobody else was doing. Nobody. So yes, you can totally guerrilla market.
Wow.
Yep. What else you guys got? Did it bring up anything else?
So, how, I guess if you're, just say for instance, if you're Walmart and cheap, what would you suggest to get to the, to be Nordstrom, the quality?
That's beautiful. God, what a great question. I would look at what I'm putting out first. Like I'm really examining what Gary and I are putting out there. What are we putting out? And does it look quality? So that's just the external side of it. So, because I'm not gonna, if I was gonna go on $1 million listing, or it's not anything anymore, if I was gonna go on $5 million listing, let's do that because $1 million, who cares? Would my material work on a $5 million listing? Would it? No, it wouldn't. I know what $5 million listings look like. It's gorgeous. It's not what I've got. So I'm going to start looking at what it is that I do. And then I'm going to start looking at what can I do that I can do reasonably. If I'm going to go after that level, like I'm not going to take $100,000 house and do a book and a drone and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do it. But could I get that guy's system with the virtual tour and set up that kind of a thing? The Matterport, basically on the phone.
What was the name of that thing? Was that Pivo?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
And the guy hasn't reached back out to me, and I didn't think about it yesterday, but I'm gonna reach back out to him today and go, hey, I emailed you. You said to email you. I did that on purpose because I didn't want to talk to him that night. But I did email you, and I've not heard back, dude.
Okay.
I'm still gonna get my discount because if he doesn't, I'm not doing it. That takes care of that problem. Anyway,
Send him a text.
There was a whole big discussion about that kind of stuff on Workplace yesterday. Our GIA team about Pivo and stuff
okay,
like
I'm
that.
gonna go check it
Yeah.
out.
I saw
Cool.
that.
Because I
That's
want
what
to see
made
if
me
there's
ask the
something else.
question, if it was Pivo.
Yeah, I want to see if there's something else that we'll do because I don't need some of the features, but I do want some of the other features. Okay, so I'm gonna look externally. And once I look externally and kind of look at what I'm doing and what I'm putting out there and all that kind of stuff. And where am I marketing, you know, and who am I marketing to, and you know, and do I need to target doctors, attorneys, high price point areas, college professors, like we talked the other day about what do I need to target? And then I'm also going to look internally to bring my financial thermometer up also. And do you guys remember what financial thermometer is? Do you guys remember that? Okay, who wants to play with me on a financial thermometer?
Sure, I will.
All right, Kathy, how much money do you, thank you, by the way, sweetie, how much money do you want to make in 2023 off real estate?
Oh, I'm a low guy. $20,000,
Okay, would you be happy with 10?
probably.
Would you be happy with 8?
Getting closer. No, I'm
Would
gonna
you
say
be happy
no.
with 9?
I think 10's probably the bottom.
9999999?
Sure.
99998?
The bottom is 99999, period.
Perfect. That's your financial thermometer, and that's how much you're going to make next year unless we bring that thermometer up to 20,000, period.
Okay.
So when someone first did this with me and I settled down, I said 100 way back when, and I settled at 60. And then I looked at the past 2 years of my real estate, I flipping made 60. I was like, dang.
I
And
remember you going through this.
Yeah, it pissed me off. I mean, it really pissed me off. And so I threw my financial thermometer at 6 figures and then up and up and up and up and up. So there's no right or wrong. It doesn't matter if the number is 20,000 or 200,000 or, 500,000 or $1 million. It doesn't matter what it is. You've got to draw a line in the sand and say, absolutely not below. And so I'm going to start working. That would be part of my internal process to start bringing that up also. Because as you appear in here is how you appear out there. And the work, you go inward to go outward, you go inward to go up. All of that is an inward journey, usually first, or at least somewhere along the way. You're going to have to look in order to go out and take it up. So I would do both.
That makes sense. So basically not settling. Whatever you put in your mind that you want to make, don't say, but I'll take something else.
Right.
Yeah, because I found myself doing that a lot. So
And
Well-
it's funny because like almost always when I'm doing a listing, in the very beginning part of all that, I say, I want you to think about what your bottom line is, what you will accept, the bottom line, your bottom offer, so that you know going in what that is and how offers fit into it.
Mm-hmm. Which
So it's the same thing.
is the same thing. And we instinctually do it with our clients.
mhm.
We instinctually do it with our children. And for me, that's one of the best litmus tests. Would I do that for my child? And if I would, why am I not doing it for myself? Because children also instinctually will look at your words and your actions, and they'll go off your actions. I mean, it doesn't matter if dad says no to ice cream if he doesn't pop my butt when I'm in the freezer getting ice cream. It doesn't matter because I know I can get in there and he's not going to do anything. Who cares what he says? We instinctually know that. So if our words say one thing, but our actions are different, the kids are going to go off of that. But if I'm telling my child, I believe that that's important, then I need to be making sure that I'm telling myself that also. And it works also with negative self-talk.
Mhm.
Like, would you ever tell that negative self-talk to your kids? Hell no. Why are you telling it to yourself? Stop. It works on a lot of levels. Would you expect that for your kids? Would you do that to your kids? No, then don't do it for yourself. And at this age, we need to parent ourselves. We need to actually look and go, okay, hang on, how am I parenting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a
So,
quote this morning.
Pardon me?
I heard a quote this morning that
Yeah.
really
me too.
stuck with me. So,
What do you
and it
got?
said, whatever keeps you from learning your self-mastery will always keep you enslaved.
That's very good.
Yeah, so it got me to thinking, and I think this ties into that because I do settle, and I don't want to. So with the listing though, I find myself doing what Catherine says with my clients. I'll say, what is your bottom line? How would you handle that instead of asking, especially when they're unreasonable and it's too high? They want too much money for their listing.
You know what? One of the things that I ran into this last time was that they'd pull up comps, basically what sold for this much and
Uh-huh.
what they felt their house was.
Mhm.
Huh?
And they would say X dollars based on that. I'm saying, no, I don't want that. I don't want you to look at what everything else has. I want you to know personally on your level and your things, what your bottom line is,
So,
not what everything else is.
so you're talking, yeah, almost two different things, because you're talking, you want them, they've got it. I'm gonna list your house at 100,000. I need you to know where you're gonna, like, will you accept 90, 95, only 100, 80, like, where is that? That's what you're talking about. And I get that. And that makes total sense. You're talking about I don't know where you guys are on my Zoom, but you're over here, Craig.
Okay.
You're talking about, you want to list your price too high and you're coming in with too high, and they do bring comps. I've had many people bring comps to me. This is what I've got comped out. So there's a bunch of different ways on how to deal with an overpriced listing and a seller that wants to overprice. My first question though goes to you. Do you want to take an overpriced listing or not? That's my first question.
No.
Me either. I took one and I took it with the upfront. We had a very real conversation. You were overpriced. It will not sell. I'm only going to get buyers off of it. I'm not doing any marketing. And that was the agreement we had. It didn't sell. I got a ton of buyers off of it. I got a bunch of marketing. He eventually rented it to his brother, cousin, who cares? Anyway, so I took one. So moving forward though, if you don't want to take one, then you have to beat them up here, and you need to have at least 5 different ways to do it. The easiest one is to just go, no. And then move on and don't even address it anymore. Like, hey, I want you to, your house, okay, we've run the comps and everything, your house should be 200. I wanted the 225. No. So here's what we're going to do with our marketing. Wait, what? And sometimes they'll just accept it. And sometimes they'll push back, and that's fine because you need to have 5 different ones. All right, tell me what's going on. And if you're a question, if the reason is I still owe 200, okay, then we got a decision to make here, because you're either a short sale, or you're bringing money to the table, or you're not selling. Which one do you want? Because we can do any one of these things, right? But if that's not the reason, just I want that because, Fred down the street got 2.25 for his, All right, let me show you how it works. So then I'm going to go into some different things. So we can go into, it doesn't matter what the price of milk is. It doesn't matter if that gallon's $1 and that gallon's $2 and that gallon's $3, because this is the way it works right now, is everybody can go in, they can see everything online. And if they're only going to sell 2 of those 3 gallons of milk, and you walked in and you saw the same gallon of milk for $1, $2, and $3, which one are you going to buy? I'm going to buy the $1 gallon milk. Exactly. Does it matter if the $3 gallon of milk has really pretty labels on it? No. Does it matter if they've advertised over here, there's a big banner and there's dancing girls, and are you going to buy it? No, I'm not going to buy it. I'm buying the $1 gallon milk. Exactly. So it doesn't matter what advertising, what we do. It's a level playing field now because of the internet. They can all see the same gallons of milk. So All right, that's another one. All right, 3 gallons of milk sell, 3 houses sell in your neighborhood every single month. That's just what sells. Currently, there's 5 listed. So out of these 5, if one's priced at 1, 110, 115, 125, and 150, and you know 3 are going to sell, you're going to buy one of those 3. Which one are you going to buy? You're going to buy one of these 3. All you're doing if you come in here is you're selling one of these. If you come in here, you're still selling one of these more than likely, but you're definitely push these 2 out. But if you come in here, you're selling these 3. That's all you're doing. Do you want to sell your neighbor's house? You want to sell your own house?
Mhm.
I want to sell my house. Perfect. I want you to list at 9999999. It doesn't work that way because that's a mental trick. Price tags say 19.99. They don't say 20 anymore. Well, they haven't for 100 years. Okay, that's a mental trick. It was a mental trick to make people think 19 versus 20. The problem with that is people look nowadays on the internet and everything on the internet is set up in brackets. You don't do that when you go into a store. You don't bracket out these 5 toothpastes. Okay, you see all the toothpaste. So the 19.99 version works there. It doesn't work on the internet because we bracket out prices. So we bracket right on a bracket, which means if we're wrong, we list you at 200, we're wrong, we've got to bring you down to 175 because I have to get you into a new bracket. So we use bracket pricing. My neighbor's house sold for whatever, and you have the pictures because you can pull it up online, and that house is flipping gorgeous. Awesome. Let's look at this house at the high level that sold. This one sold for 250. This one sold for 225. This one sold for 200. And you can tell quality wise which one is perfect. Here's all the pictures. Which one of these is your house? And you know if your house is Formica versus marble. You know if it's carpeting versus hardwood, right? And by the way, you can tell laminate versus hardwood in the picture because laminate has a shine to it. Versus hardwood. Hardwood has a dull gleam, but laminate has a shine to it. So you can tell the difference or read in the comments. Okay, which house is your house? My house is this one. Yep, that's a $200,000 house. I want you to come in here. It's not going to sell and I'm not willing to do that. And if you're not willing to work with me, we can't do this. You told me that you wanted to sell your house. Out of curiosity, why did you want to sell your house? Well, I wanted to tell me why that's important. I wanted to tell me why that's, I wanted to tell me why that's important. I wanted to oh, you have a new job that you want to take in Seattle and you need to get up there. And if you don't get up there soon, they're probably going to give the job to somebody else. Is that really worth losing the opportunity over something that you want to overprice? Let's see if we can't get you a kick butt agent on the other side who can get you a good deal over there. Let's just see if we can't toss that money that you want to make and put it on the other side. All I'm doing is hitting it a bunch of different ways, but you need to have a good, if you can get them by with just one and then they move forward, great. But if it's 2, great. If it's 3, great. But you need at least 5 because usually that's all the farther somebody will push. And then the other bottom line is where I asked you, is that something you want to do or not? And if you don't want to do it, then have your bottom line and don't settle. But come very prepared. Like the 2 things I think you need to prepare most on for a listing appointment, okay, 3, comps. Comps are everything, I think. I mean, I'm really, really, really huge on making sure your comps are tight and good. And like, you know what your comps are. So know your comps. It's the one piece of my business I could never give away. I didn't give away lead generation. I didn't give away comps. I think it's easier now to give away lead generation than it is comps. But I could never give it away because I needed that. Comps, protecting your commission, and the price point of the house. And being able to handle pricing objections is what I mean by that. Those 3 things, like you need to nail those in the listing business, especially as we're going into this market, especially this market, because the other market, all right, I think your house should be 200. Put a sign on, look, it went for 240. Woo woo. I mean, you could fudge all kinds of stuff, but in the down market, you cannot. It's got to be really, really tight, really tight. So that's what I would
What are
do.
the 3 things again? Know your comps, protecting your commission.
Know your comps, be able to guard your commission, and be able to handle the pricing objections.
Okay.
So it's all price. All 3 of those related to price. Knowing what to price a house at, knowing how to protect your price, your commission, knowing how to guard that price that you're going to be listing that house at. Those are your 3.
Gina, in a market like this, how do you, it changes so quickly. How do you determine that price going into the listing versus, I mean, before it's actually signed up and they're going to list?
Yep. So, okay, great question again. So when I did a positioning report is what I called it. It wasn't just the current comps. I'm looking at the history and I'm looking at how many houses sell per month in that area. I'm looking at pending days. Are my pending days getting longer? I'm looking at price adjustments. What is the list? And by that, it's list price to sales price ratio. So I'm pulling list price to sales price ratio. I'm pulling absorption rates, how many houses sell per month in that neighborhood every month. So I will look and I will go in August, 5 houses sell, in July 4, in June 6, in December 3. And I'm going to look at market absorption rates and what month are we listing, because that's going to tell me roughly what I can expect of how many houses are going to sell. I'm looking at price per square foot, list price over sales price ratio, list price over sales price, pending price per square foot, absorption rates, and my competition. Who's my competition? So if 5 houses are currently listed and I know 3 sell, I need to make sure I'm in the bottom 3. When I have something that price per square foot prices out at 213, 219, 2, whatever, I'm going to, in a declining market, I'm going to come in at 200. I'm going to flat out come in at 200. The only way I'm not going to come in at 200, forget it. I'm going to come in at 200. I priced on the bracket to start.
List price over sales price, price per square foot, absorption rate. You talk fast. I can't write that
I
fast.
do talk fast. I am so sorry. My competition,
Competition.
absorption, price per square foot, absorption rate, list price over sales price ratio, my competition.
I still thought I missed something, but
Yeah,
okay.
grab the recording because I'm gonna, like, my brain's gonna
Yeah, I
fry.
know you gotta go. It's
No, no, no,
after
no, no,
hours.
no, it's okay. It really is. You can grab the recording because my brain's gonna fry. I played on the MLS to learn my reports, and then I just really thought about which reports do I like and what can I bring in, and how, if you run across an issue, what was your quote, Craig?
Whatever keeps you from learning your self-mastery will always keep you enslaved.
Bam. If you keep on running across the same objection, like it's a pricing objection, then that's part of your self-mastery. You've got a self-mastery or mastery over that. And then I would look at my reports and I'm like, how can I beat somebody over the head and shoulders to get them to list where they need to list? Because they got to list where they got to list. And how can I bring numbers? Because I love numbers. Facts. How do I bring facts? Because houses are emotional and different. They're all unique. So how do I level the playing field with facts? And the facts are the numbers in your neighborhood. And there are some, well, I have the biggest backyard, not necessarily a plus. Well, what do you mean by that? Some people don't want to mow a lawn. I have a pool, not necessarily a plus. Why? We have a water shortage. Well, I have a this, not necessarily a plus. Why? I have tile counters, not Formica, not necessarily a plus. Why? People hate cleaning grout. Some things absolutely have a plus. Did you build over too high for the neighborhood though? So you still, but I have granite counter in a Formica neighborhood, not necessarily a plus. Why? We're in this school district. I mean, and those are realities. They really are. Some things absolutely a plus. I live in a tile neighborhood and I have granite counters. You know what? Probably okay. Probably can pull a little bit higher on that. So I just really, really, really worked really hard with people to come in on their price.
Okay.
Really hard. And then when we did short sales, we signed all the price adjustments up front, whole stack of them on the listing appointment. Here's 15 price adjustments, sign them now. Doesn't matter. You're a short sale anyway, deal with it. Yeah, what? You don't care. We have to sell your house. That's it. It's just to get the offer. The bank's gonna come back in anyway and throw whatever price they're gonna throw at it. So we need to sign this. And if it doesn't sell, you're gonna be signing another 15. Because, and I did that because I kept on, we'd list the house and then they wouldn't sell it, they wouldn't sign a price adjustment. And I was like, and in my head, I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's a short sale, but the problem isn't them, the problem's me. So I have to figure out how to self-mastery so that I can grow. I have to self-mastery or I can't grow. And I have to have integrity with myself. And by that, I mean, because the first thing that came to mind is I'm teaching this class that I'm building is all on identity, mindset, worth, resistance, objections, all those kinds of things to self. And I realized for me, I've been plunking along at too damn heavy in my weight. And I'm like, you can't teach a class on that. You have no integrity. All right, what do you need to do, Gina? You need to get rid of white flour and sugar and you know it. All right, get it out of your diet. And I have to, because I can't have integrity otherwise for myself. So
would you farm based on what you were talking about, like absorption rates, studying the MLS and knowing your numbers? Would you particularly farm? Okay.
what I mean by that, I had a farm, but I put that information out there. So we did, when I did my newsletter type of information, which is basically farming, I pulled out of the news, like Gary said last Monday, he said, just open up the newspaper. I literally would just, at that point, there was a newspaper, but I would literally just go with what the news is saying. And then I would put a little synopsis, the news says this, that's great. What does that mean for me? Well, in this area, it means this. And I took it hyper local. So I did that a lot. And then I did the crazy stuff going on with interest rates. So that was always one to go after on that also. And then I also did market absorption, a market report. So we did that. And then I would toss people numbers and I would say, yeah, but what is it? I would build a little graph of whatever metrics I wanted them. So I would build a graph of 3 months of metrics: list price over sales price ratio, list price, sales price ratio, et cetera, right? So I built a little graph and then I would say, what does it mean? And then I would break down what this means. And I would also send them, basically I sent everybody a comp too. I would pick a neighborhood, and I started this because I did new construction. So it was easy because everybody was in one neighborhood, right? But then when I went to farm and then I built my business up, we picked like 6 of the neighborhoods and we would basically do a CMA around the center of that neighborhood. And we do a CMA on that neighborhood. And I sent everybody, they all got the same market report for their neighborhood. So we sent that out. That one got me, because it was a thick report, that one got me the most comments. It got me the most reactions every year. We did that in January. We said, this is a service we provide every single January. We tell you every single thing that's happened in the year in your neighborhood. And it was a really cool, pulled it off the MLS, all kinds of charts and graphs and pretty stuff. It got the most, leave me the hell alone. And oh my God, is that what you think my house is worth? And I want to talk. It always got a lot. And if you say leave me alone, I'm fine with that. That's cool. Get on my database. All right. So yeah, so we did all that stuff. I didn't do any of the fluffy change of clock stuff. I didn't do any of it. It's not who I am.
Mhm.
All right. What else you guys want? Or thinking about?
I've got a quick question, another one, I hope. I'm going with a teammate, Sarah Black, today to do her first listing appointment, but she's not, I don't think she's going to do the listing today. Hopefully she will at least get the agreement signed, the exclusive right to represent.
Yeah.
But her goal is to gather information because the almost client says that they're not quite ready to sell.
She's a 2-step.
She's a 2-step.
Yep.
So, and it's in a condo.
Yep.
I've never done condos.
So the main thing on condos, the paperwork sometimes is different in different MLSs, but also find out where you can put your signs.
Okay.
Because sometimes they don't let you put a sign out front. Sometimes you can only put one in the condo window. Find out what that particular HOA sign regs are for that unit.
Yeah,
building.
it's a condo. It's like a HOA, but it's not. the condo docs versus that, right? That's the main thing that's different, other than, like you said, signage and
Yep.
and different rules like that. What's included, what's not.
How do they get entry? Where do I put my key box?
Okay,
Yep, those are probably, thinking off the top of my head, those are the main things, is entry, key box, signage, HOA, condo regs.
okay,
Because the condo have to approve before they can come in. So just get the condo regs and talk to them and read through them.
okay, because that's the kind of what I had said already, is, that kind of thing. It sounds to me like there's still some more information that's got to be gathered. But yeah,
And in that case also, I would talk to them, I would come in with, look, the price today, if we listed today, the price would be this, but
Right.
what we're going to do is we're going to, when you're ready, we're going to do another, we're gonna rerun the numbers, and we're gonna see where you're sitting at. But if you came in today, here's where you need to come in at.
right.
Yep. So,
That's
and
part of
then-
the question, what has fueled the questions that I've been asking today, is because I got that in the back of my
yeah,
head.
as soon as you said that, then that's when I realized where you were going with that. So yeah, so I would rerun, I would run everything, and it's good practice for her anyway. I run
Mhm.
everything and then I just rerun it again. And then really, really, I know I said this a bunch of times, but I'm really serious. Get in your MLS, run one copy of every single, if they do 50 reports, run one copy of every single report, title whatever they call it, if it doesn't print the title across top, otherwise, because ours didn't, it was like report 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would be like, this is awesome. Which one is it? Son of a beehive. Well, yeah, this one. Oh, hang on, it's that one. So mark it and then look at what they are, figure out which ones you really like, that you're like, this makes sense. I love it. I can really work with this. And then have that in your package every time that that's part of your CMA. We grab that report. RPR does some cool stuff and I like it. I really like going to the source data. RPR is better than it was, and it's very glossy and pretty too. And that's part of, so we had 2 sets of reports. There was no RPR, but we had a system like that. Actually, to buy it back, that was like $20 a month or something. Anyway, need more water. So I had the really glossy, gorgeous stuff because some clients really like the pretty stuff. But then I had the raw data numbers that I could, and so this is very pretty here. I like this. It's fun to play with and look at, but the raw data says I am on the level of an accountant CPA. I know my numbers. They can't understand it. Here's what's really going on. Let me show you. This means this, means this, means this. Do you see this column right here? Pay attention right here. This column means this. That's why we need to do this. So the pretty stuff is really pretty and it says quality because it looks expensive. This says competence, not this, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says I'm competent. I know my numbers. And agents don't do this. They don't bring that stuff. They just bring the pretty stuff. And I cannot tell you how many agents just flipping go on Zillow and look at prices. I'm like, well, I went on Zillow and Zillow said this. I'm like, my God, you have an MLS. You know, it's crazy. But the tight linear lines of numbers, the spreadsheets says competence. It completely says competence, and then bring the pretty with them also, you know, because the pretty's fun, and it's pretty.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what she's bringing, and kind of wants me there for backup and assistance to make sure nothing gets missed.
Yep, of course, makes sense.
And I've kind of been doing that. I've took her with me to look at a listing before that we turned down. Had her do open houses or come with me because she didn't want to do it by herself. So I've had her do that, those kinds of things. And I know she's been working with you guys, and she's also working with her other previous team or something. I don't know what, she's got a lot going on.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's where we're at. We're doing that today.
Cool.
So,
Congratulations. I hope she
yeah.
gets it, or I hope she, yeah. And if you want that doc signed, if she
Mhm.
wants the doc signed, dig your heels in to get it signed. Don't settle.
Yeah, I told her to
Dig your
have it.
heels in.
I told her to have one printed out and
Yep.
have one pre-filled on the computer
Yep.
so that she can email it to them and have them sign it right there, and then she can leave the other one with them.
Yep. Or some people are paper people if they're older, so they'll rather sign that, whatever, it doesn't matter, but have it all ready on both levels. And then, don't settle. Your financial thermometer is the same as your listing thermometer, is the same as your emotional thermometer, is the same as your mental thermometer. There, we all have thermometers in our lives in different ways. Like I was talking with somebody the other day, I don't remember who it was. And I was talking about, who was it? Gosh, anyway, I was talking about, when Greg and I travel, if we're on a cliff, because he's like nature boy, which you wouldn't expect. But he's nature boy, and he likes to go right to the edge of the cliff and look down over the edge. And I mean, he thinks that's cool as heck to stand right on the edge and look down. And I am like 20 feet back going, hell no, I'm not getting on the edge of that cliff. Like, yeah. Like that terrifies me. It absolutely terrifies me. Like, what if the edge of the cliff gave away? He's not a little guy, right? I'm not little. I'm not going down. Anyway, I won't even get within like 3 feet. Like, anyway. But then I realized as I was talking about that I want to be able to protect myself emotionally from like his dad's a horrible person, all that kind of stuff. And so I had to learn to protect myself emotionally and stand back from the cliff. And what I didn't use, I used to not do that. I used to go right up to the edge of the cliff, and then I'd be like, I'm going to break down if you keep on going. Like I'm going to kill you or something. Like I'm not in a good space right now. And I would get to that space and then I would pull back, but I don't want to do that anymore in my life. I want to make sure that I'm 20 feet back or 10 or 5 or whatever my limit is to go, you know what, you're not good for me mentally at this point. You're just not. And if you continue, I'm going to walk away, but I want to do that 20 feet back because that's my thermometer is back there. It wasn't my thermometer. My thermometer was the edge of the cliff. Now I realize that we've got thermometers in all avenues in all arenas of our life, and my thermometer is actually back here emotionally. So if I feel myself getting that way, and I use Greg's dad as an example because Greg's dad is like pushing right now, and I literally am like, no, not doing that. The glass floor in the old Sears building, or the glass bridge across the Grand Canyon down at the western end, I think it is. Yeah. Same thing.
Didn't see that one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. The glass floor stuff. I'm okay with that. It's because I still feel somewhat safe because technically there's an engineered floor. Like I feel safe in roller coasters, not the little traveling ones.
I was going to mention the roller coaster thing,
Yeah.
because to me, that's the same level of risk.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
the traveling ones, because you can look and see there's bolts missing out of those little traveling things. I'm just like,
Yeah, the other thing that was hard for me, I mean, I can go up to the edge like what you're talking to, and I'm better looking out than I am looking down. But that glass floor, I had a really hard time with. And when I was a lot younger and I was in Colorado, there is a wooden with cable
bridge.
type
Yeah.
bridge over the Royal Gorge Canyon. That was creepy.
There's one up by Whistler that is the tallest one in the world. It was. They've redone it now. It's no longer wood with the 2 cables, which it was when I was a kid and went across it. It is now like a solid, thing that goes across, but it swung really bad. And my brother and I, when we were kids, I was like 12, we're in the middle of it, jumping up and down. And then we found out they actually yelled at us over a bullhorn to stop. But there's some interesting studies around that. So, oh gosh, you guys, I'm so far over. Go if you want to go, because I just really want to honor your time. And we'll see a little bit if you want. They did a study where they put an attractive girl on the other side. I think I told you guys this. They put an attractive girl on the other side with the questionnaire, and the guys would walk across the scary bridge in Whistler, but by Whistler. And then the girl would ask some questions, and then they'd have another person farther down the path, and they would ask the guy, rate that girl from a 1 to 10. Down below, right above the creek, they have another bridge, which is solid wood, and it's only like 4 or 5 feet off the ground or 6 feet off the ground or whatever. And it's short because the canyon goes like this. So there's this little bridge down here that's very solid, and this big, scary suspension bridge up here. So they put a girl down there with a clipboard, ask a guy questions. Another person would say, hey, rate that girl. Consistently, this girl was like a 7, 8, 9, and this girl was like a 4, 5, 6. And they thought, well, maybe this girl down here is a 4, 5, 6, and this one is a 7, 8, 9. So they switched girls. And then they realized that no, what's really going on, and this study was done like 20, 25 years ago. When you do something scary, that's kind of threatening, you have heightened emotions and you're like, and then if you're a guy and you see a girl on the other side, she's much more attractive. It releases some sort of chemical hormone that, I don't know, says, oh, I did something dangerous and you're really pretty. Down below, that doesn't happen because there's no fear. And what they realized out of this is that it's actually in a book I first read about in a book called The Rules, which is a great book if you're a girl and you're moving into the dating world. The Rules. And what they realize is that if a guy steps way out of his comfort zone and is scared, then he will view the person as much more attractive, which means, guys, you should be asking girls that you think are slightly out of your league. And then they took those same people. And when they did do that, when guys asked girls that they thought, another study, that were way out of their league, and they asked them to date, and then they asked them to marry, and they did get married, those marriages tend to work really, really well because the girl's outside of their league. And there's something about that for men just really works. Okay, so I tell you that to tell you this. So I read that book before I dated Greg, because I had the bad marriage and I didn't want to be in another bad marriage again. So I read, and I hadn't dated in God since I was a kid. So I was like, I don't even know what dating looks like anymore. So I read the rules, and then I did a bunch of the stuff that were in the rules. And so I was telling a girlfriend that one time, I'm like, guys should approach and they should da. And this is just my viewpoint again. And Greg came around the corner and goes, that's bullshit. And I'm like, you're right. And I have a really good marriage. So you're right. It's absolute crap, sweetie. There's a ring on my finger and we have a great marriage. And you thought I was completely out of your league. So whatever. You can think you're wrong. You can think you're, right all day long and I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. So anyway, there's my little story on suspension bridges. And we do
That's
scare things.
phenomenal.
What happens? Anybody, as soon as you get off of a roller coaster, you instantly like, I want to do it again. I can take on the world. And look how cool. I can go do this now and that now, because you feel amazing because of all the endorphins and stuff rushing through your body. Yeah, it's a cool thing. It really, really is. Greg's mom, who's a high S, who never does anything scary. She was spouting out with something the other day, and I'm like, you're dead ass wrong. And if you want to, it was about Greg. I've said, bet me $5. I'm telling you, you're dead wrong. She's like, no, I will keep my money very safe. And she's just very safe. Well, when she was going through the divorce, she was having to do all this stuff that for her was terrifying, like call an attorney. It terrified her, right? But she did all this stuff. And I said, you watch, your mom's going to start doing crazy stuff. And he's like, what makes you say that? And I'm like, two things. She's losing weight. She's having to deal with her emotions, but because otherwise you eat your emotions. She's losing weight and she's coming outside of her comfort zone. She's going to start making crazy decisions. I'm telling you. And then Grace's like, mom's gone off half cocked and I said, I told you, told you expect this. So how do we use that for us for good? We do things that push us outside of our comfort zone, that make us feel a little weird, and but then when we're done, exhilarate us, and it gives us the emotional energy and the hormonal buzz to go take on the next big thing. That's how we use that.
You either win or you lose. No. You
No,
either win or you learn.
bingo. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. And we are the curators of our lives on pretty much every level. And the stuff that is around us is just raw materials. And if we can build and do whatever we want to with it. So it doesn't have an emotional, it doesn't have a morality attached to it. It just is the tools around us. So we get to decide what we want to do with those tools and what we want to build. And we get to build our own castles. And it looks like or bridges or, glass floors, whatever it is we want to build. We can build whatever it is we want to build. That's what we get to do. We can succeed and we can learn, and then we can succeed and we can learn. So cool beans.
Yep.
Guys got anything else? Nope. All right. As you're heading into this season, we're not going to meet next Thursday or Friday. And as you're heading into the season, decide whether you are going to go full blast through this next month, 5 weeks, whatever it is, or if you're going to like really, really shut down and just really focus on family health, growth in your business, that kind of stuff. There's no right or wrong, just don't half-ass it. That's my only thing, just don't half-ass it. So either head down, pour, like I'm going to pour, for me personally, I'm going to pour into my business, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. That week between Christmas, from Christmas, it's like a 9 days because of the way the holidays work and all that, off. Because I want to work on my business, build on my business, but I really want to and be with my family. And those are the things that are important to me. There's no right or wrong. Just figure out which direction you want to go, but don't half-ass it for the next 5 weeks because nobody's working. So either take advantage of it and work like crazy, or take advantage of it and don't.
Yeah.
Yep, either one works. Just figure out what works for you. So, all right.
Sounds good.
I love you guys.
You too.
Right back at you. Have
Yeah.
an amazing weekend. I will see you all whenever I see you all Monday next, probably, and then we'll go and just have an amazing weekend. Have a really good weekend. Okay, y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
You're
you all.
welcome.